In 1239, in the northern winter skies, a crusade was called forth, not to Jerusalem, but to the Arctic. Not a sacred war for the city of Jesus, but for the Norwegian heart, for the mind of Christ, and against the snow witches of heathenism. A lost sacred war, a silent war. This is the secret crusade in the Arctic. Pope Gregory IX penned an astonishing papal epistle in 1239 AD. Rather than summoning knights to the Holy Land, it summoned war in the frigid north. The enemy, the Sami people, indigenous northern pagans who were being accused of witchcraft, nature worship, and Christian resistance. King Haakon IV of Norway, resolved to assert sovereignty over the lands in the north, took the call seriously. The Sami had been labeled by the church as sorcerers of the frost, accused of using spirits and stars to counter the true faith, but Haakon's motivations were far from religious. The Arctic also held crucial trade routes, rich fisheries, and untapped resources. A holy war, fueled by faith and politics, was set to move forward. The Arctic was not just cold, it was deadly. As Crusaders left Bergen and Trondheim, they had gigantic distances to travel, blizzards and isolation. Supplies were limited, and some had never seen northern lights, let alone fight in minus 30 Celsius weather. Local guides turned Norwegians, led them through icy rivers and forests, but resistance was ubiquitous. Sami reindeer herders, skier archers, and snow-battered warriors harassed the Crusader lines with ground to their advantage. This was not a traditional war. This was survival. By 1240, Crusaders had advanced into Finnmark, near the Russian border. Skirmishes escalated into open conflict. The Sami, while fragmented, were fierce defenders. Their ski warriors darted like ghosts, attacking and vanishing. The church made their culture forbidden, burning holy drums, banning joint chants, and replacing their gods with crosses, but it only fueled resistance. At the Battle of Karasjok, 1240, a huge Sami ambush killed over 60 Crusaders. It was a chilling reminder that this holy war would not be won overnight. In 1241 AD, the Crusaders extended even further to the Kola Peninsula near Russia today. There were fortified Sami settlements there, protected behind walls of snow and elaborately crafted wooden idols. King Haakon IV sent his most able commander, Eirik of Bergen, to lead the charge against the settlement of Kolvia, later called Kola. It came to be known in the chronicles as the Siege at the End of the World. Despite their primitive defenses, the Sami fought back for 12 days using hit-and-run tactics and even tossing burning reindeer fat onto siege towers. It was a brutal fight in sub-zero temperatures. When the Crusaders finally broke through the defenses, the priests ordered all idols to be smashed. It was a hollow victory. For another 7 years, the Arctic Crusade continued. By 1242, Christian camps had been spotted along most of the northern coastline. Missionaries were dispatched by the church under armed guard, and laws were passed banning Sami language from being used in church. But not all of the Sami resisted. Some converted willingly, either out of fear or promise of peace. Others became interpreters and guides, but rebellions continued. In 1246, a priest named Father Anselm was found frozen to death on the ice of the coast of the Varangia Fjord, with Sami runes written on his body. The message was concise: "This is not your land." By 1250 AD, King Haakon IV declared the northern border at peace. The Pope sent a letter of congratulations. Churches had been founded, idols overthrown, and the last of the Sami chiefs, Ravna the Wise, signed a treaty at Altafjord. The Arctic Crusade officially ended in 1252, but for the Sami, its legacy lingered in wounds, silence, and snow. The Crusade of the Arctic was erased from the majority of school books, but it had occurred, one of the most northerly holy wars to have ever been waged. It had been a war for land, but also for faith, language, and remembrance. A war where snow had shrouded the swords crossing, and ice had frozen the stories, but not all had perished. Today, there remains Sami culture. Their hymns are sung again, their gods remembered, their tales at last spoken, and now so is this one.